Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Daisy and Brandy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your girl's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Brandy is using a regular 6-foot web training leash. She keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in her right hand. That leaves her left hand free to give any correction that's needed. And the only correction that we give here at school, if you remember, is a little tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Daisy has been fitted with her very own training equipment. You're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session tomorrow. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Brandy's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Daisy heel. Now, at this point, Daisy has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking. She has a habit of wanting to skip, but she has to walk like a lady, next to your left leg, not forging ahead, maintaining pace with you, keeping her nose up off the ground, and sitting automatically when you stop. So that when you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she's sitting very nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. So Brandy's demonstrating that again for you. Shoulders next to your left leg. When you stop your feet without being told, she is sitting automatically. If she doesn't, you tell her no, sit. Just as a reminder. Good job. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and for beagle puppies this is a very difficult command. The long sit stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to start out at about 30 seconds. You're going to slowly work up to 3 minutes. Now she's wanting to lay down, so Brandy's going to tell her no, sit, and leave her again in a stay. So start at about 30 seconds and work all the way up to 3 minutes. And that is a regulation sit stay. When Brandy returns back to her, you see she walked counterclockwise around her, ending up back in heel position. And Daisy remained seated until Brandy got all the way back to her shoulders. And they'll demonstrate that sit stay again for us. Now, if you need to enforce that stay, you don't go quite as far away. You stand a little bit closer to her, which kind of enforces that you expect her to stay there. And then as she gets a little bit better, you can back further and further away till you'll be able to drop the leash. Again, when Brandy returns back to her, she walks all the way around her, stops at her shoulders. That's very important. She's going to heel her out of that, and then the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are her come commands. Now, she's very high energy. She is a very typical beagle in that she loves to put her nose on the ground, so that's one of the things that always precedes her getting up or making a mistake. So you want to keep her head up. You control the dog's head, you control the whole dog. This time Brandy's going to use her name and she's going to call her. It's Daisy come, and Daisy's to come and sit. And that eliminates her jumping all over you. Is she still going to want to sometimes? Yes. But we're going to be teaching you how to stop that from happening at home. And Brandy will demonstrate that come on command again for us. Now, she didn't sit right away, so Brandy said no, sit. And then she left her in a stay. She backs far enough away that she can enforce the come command. She uses the dog's name. You don't have to get too happy with Daisy, because if you do, then she loses it. Back to heel position and back sitting. Good girl. Now the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are our series of down commands. The first one is the down from a heel position. So with her seated at your left, and always have her seated first, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. Now this is a command where she wants to put her nose to the ground, she wants to eat acorns and leaves, and you'll see Brandy telling her no and taking a step in to enforce it. This command, you're going to start out at about 45 seconds, do it indoors where there's no leaves and distractions, and work all the way up to 5 minutes. When Brandy returns back to her again, she walks counterclockwise back to where they started, stops at her shoulders, and then gives her the next command. And she healed her out of that command. And we're going to demonstrate that command again for you. She's a very smart, very happy, fun little dog. We want her to stay that way. But as you know from owning beagles before, they can be a little bit hard-headed, a little bit stubborn. Don't give up if she gives you a hard time. Once you give the command, you have to make sure she does it completely. This time Brandy will call her out of this command. She comes in, she should come and sit, and then she should return to heel and return to the seated position. And the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. This is a harder down command because you're not right next to the dog. So you have her seated, you leave her in a sit stay, you turn to face her. You don't need to go too far away in the very beginning. This is the only time you're going to use your right hand to give the command, and you give her that down stay. And you hear Brandy telling her no because she's wanting to drop her head. And again, this is very normal beagle instinct, but you don't want her to do it. So we have demonstrated for you all of the formal on-leash obedience commands that you're already very familiar with. We will be going over all of this with you tomorrow. We have enjoyed having her. She's a pleasure. And thank you again for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.